podcast, sharing our love of the fiber arts from the heart of the Ozarks.
Hello, and welcome to the Knitworthy podcast. We are trying something a little different today. I was wondering if you all see our introduction and don't need us to always introduce ourselves. So, This was my try at just saying, hello, we're glad you're here. And our information about who we are is at the front and at the end of the podcast, so take a look there. This is going to be a very fun podcast.
Yes.
We have fun things going. We've got a special guest today. And let's see, our special guest is Abby, who is Cozy Crafting.
Yes.
I'm really excited to get together with her. We are actually, this is like end of school.
Today was the last day of school for my kids, but Isaac, he's finished school a couple days ago.
He did.
Yeah.
And so you would think that everybody would be happy about it. But there are members of the Keene family, little ones, who are kind of sad because they like the routine of school, don't they?
They do, especially Owen. He is my child who's autistic, and he's very routine and schedule oriented. And so for him, like having a regimented, scheduled out plan for the day is like the best thing ever. Even if it's just, I'm gonna play games for the next 2 hours, he has an idea of how his day is gonna go. And it's very predictable when you know exactly, today I'm going to have music and art and, we're going to do recess at these times and lunch. And
yeah, it makes life wonderful for them.
Yes.
But when I was a kid, first day of summer vacation was like, woo!
I know, right?
Very exciting. Yeah.
Yes. Ayla, it's so funny. She came into the car when I picked her up from school, and I said, oh, happy summer, you're a third grader now. And she goes, no, I'm not. And I was like, well, what do you mean? She said, I'm not officially a third grader until my first day of school. And I said, well, why don't you tell people then this summer that you're going into the third grade? That way, you don't have to feel like you're deceiving anybody.
There you go. She's all about the honesty, huh?
She really is. She also, we believe, is a little bit on the spectrum, probably something more like Asperger's, or, she's, so she's very detail oriented.
She has her foibles also.
She really does. And, my kids all have the foibles.
Yes.
They get them all from me.
And, along with us mixing things up because it's summertime now, and whatever season it is near where you are, it may be a change of seasons for you too.
Yeah.
But we also have something in common with the Bakery Bears podcast.
What would that be?
Fabulousness? Well, of course, fabulousness. They celebrated their podiversary at about the same time we did.
They sure did.
They really did it up big. I felt like a slacker. We just said, hey, we had a podiversary. And they were like, they had special guests and cake or whatever they had, all sorts of things.
Yeah. You know who else celebrated a podiversary recently?
Who?
Is Heather Ordover from the Craftfoot podcast.
She did. How many years for her?
9 years.
9. Don't you love her voice?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Take no offense to this, Heather, but you make me fall asleep. I have to be really careful. Her voice is so
It's
soothing.
relaxing, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I could listen to her.
She's a very enjoyable listen. I agree.
But what do we have in common with Bakery Bears besides fabulousness and a podiversary?
Okay. Bakery Bears, they are going to be going on a 2-week schedule. And we have discussed also having a different schedule. And maybe some of you can relate to the fact that summertime means that things are a bit upside down. In fact, I mean, if we are lucky, we might be able to go get to see Heather. I'm really hoping.
Yes.
But there are some things that will come up that may interfere with our schedule. And so this is going to be no surprise to any of you who know us. We are just going to record when we can.
Right.
Which is kind of what we do anyway.
It is.
But we're making it official. Yay! We may record 2 weeks in a row and then skip a couple weeks, or we may be every 2 weeks. But we'd just like you to be gracious to us and allow us the freedom of recording when it fits into our life. And so we don't feel like we're letting you down, hopefully, when we're not able to podcast. But if it is at all possible, we usually really try very hard to podcast.
We really do.
We enjoy it, for one thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But we also, we want to keep connected with you and know that you've got a lot of places you could be listening and spending your time, and we'd like to remain worthy of your watching. We want to retain your friendship. We're buying your affection.
Wow. I think that'll take more prizes.
I know. So just starting off the podcast with a little bit of a regrouping, we're going to maybe try mix it up a little bit, and we're going to be podcasting a little more erratically than we already are, possibly, but we'll record as often as we can and let you know whenever there's exciting things going on.
Absolutely.
And Brianne.
Yeah.
What are you wearing today?
I'm not wearing anything that's knitted right now, which, it's like 61 degrees outside.
Yeah.
June 1st, 61 degrees. How am I not wearing anything knitted? How is that even possible? I was even at the park today, and it was so beautiful, and, Evan and I, we dropped off the kids at school, and they get out of school like 3 hours after you drop them off. And so what's the point of even going home?
What is the point? Yeah.
So I went and got an oil change for my car, and then that took about an hour and a half. And then we went to the park, and then we got in line to go pick up the kids. And the whole time I had knitting with me, of course, but I was like, why am I not wearing knitted things? I should have knitted things on if it's 61 degrees outside.
And we didn't, but that's okay.
I missed the opportunity.
Yeah. I decided good time to wear my knit night, which was, I think that was maybe last summer that I might have done this. But I was debating what to wear it with. Look what I found.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's not, not the same color at all, but I think it's complementary.
I think it is.
And it's a tad on the toasty side for my hot flashy self, but that's all right.
Yes.
So that's what I'm wearing. And I am super curious about any gooseberries that you may have to share with us today.
Oh my goodness. I am just so glad that school is done. I am.
You were feeling, even though the kids weren't ready, you were ready.
The kids were not ready, but I was. Yeah, for sure. I'm just ready to have, a little bit more relaxing, time with them, and hopefully do some fun things. And my mother-in-law's coming out. Oh my gosh, in like 5 days.
Yay!
Yeah, and so, that's going to be a ton of fun to have her here.
Yeah.
And, we had just have some things to look forward to. So I'm just ready.
I think summer's kind of fun for families, especially because you make it a point to do extra things. Although, if you're a Bakery Bears family.
Yes.
You just do all sorts of fancy things all year long.
That's right.
Go and visit castles and monasteries.
Yes.
But we're just excited to be able to go to the beach, y'all. Just saying.
That's right. It's true. What about you? Do you have any gooseberries?
I do. And I think one of the really fun things that I've been doing, of course, is just barraging Pinterest with things. One of my favorite pastimes at night before I go to bed is researching stuff. I have, of course, have way too many interests and not enough time to do all those things. I have time, but I need like 52 hours every day to get them all done. So,
and we don't get that many, not even close.
We don't. No.
Some people wish for 1 extra hour in the day.
Some
and
do.
You really would like
52.
52.
I don't know where that number came from, but that's what I wish for. But what I've been enjoying, and I would just encourage you, I have to see what my name is on. I am Linda Lee, I believe, on Pinterest.
Are you not Stony Brook?
I don't know. My username is Stony Brook C. So STON, I'm going to put it here. Stony Brook C for Stony Brook Cottage. That's my online persona. I have many personas. But, it's not, I'm not trying to gather people to like me. But if you're wondering what my newest obsession is, you can follow me on Pinterest. And you'll be barraged with all sorts of odd things. Do you want to hear the random assortment of things that I pinned this week?
I could tell you some of the things that you sent me and said, please make this.
All the foodie ones go to Brianne and Brian
Pretty
because
much.
they're a much better cook than I am. I have one setting, which is burn. And I usually don't consider anything fully cooked until it is setting the smoke detector off. And so I send them recipes, but this week was everything from how to make your own shampoo to all sorts of gorgeous gray-haired, long-haired women
Yeah.
to charity knitting.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Jewelry design, and I mean, there was just so many. Of course, there were fiber-related things. I pin color palettes that I think would be beautiful color work or fiber dyeing inspiration. So if you want to follow me on Pinterest, if you want to see what crazy things I'm thinking of and pinning, then follow me, follow my boards, and you'll get to see.
Yeah.
I also like to favorite encouraging words. I don't know. Do you ever do that when you're on Pinterest?
I do.
I don't do the ones that are like kick you in the bottom, kind of get in shape.
Okay.
That kind of stuff, like
Yeah.
making you feel bad about
the ones
anything.
that are like, hey fatty, get off the couch.
Exactly. No,
Yeah.
hey fatty, get off
No.
the couch ones. But, really uplifting ones. So I like doing that. But all of that, 12 minutes around the corner to get to the stage. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you remember the hair debacle?
Yes.
Where I was using Dr. Bronner's on my hair and I thought it felt like straw.
Right.
And I decided to look for some other. I'm at the end of my shampoo bottle. I have to make a decision.
That's right.
Okay, what am I going to do?
Choices must be made.
Right. Now, we had some people in the forum saying that, I think it was one person had suggested that she uses baking soda.
Yes.
You use baking soda diluted with some water, and then you use the vinegar rinse when you're done, and it's supposed to be really good at washing your hair. Now, I started pinning the recipe, and then you'll notice in my pins, if you go to the New Me board, that people who have done it for a long period of time say it actually has ruined their hair. It has destroyed their hair. And the reason being, I thought this, and it ties into fiber. You're going to love this.
Tell me.
I can't just tell you. I have to tell you. You're going to love this.
She's setting you up for what she expects your reaction to be.
I'll tell
And
you.
that's what
I should
love
put that here
about
too.
her.
Be in awe right now.
That's right. That's what I love about her, is that you never have to wonder, how does she want me to feel?
Yeah.
She'll tell you. It's great.
This is going to be so exciting. But, and this makes sense. When I'm say it, you're going to be like, yeah, okay. But, I thought when I was trying different, just regular soaps on my hair, I thought, well, what's it going to hurt? It's not really like it's alive or anything. It's alive at the roots, but this isn't alive. So, I figured out finally that hair is not unlike fiber.
Yes.
Fiber is hair from an animal. Would we all agree with that? Except for the man-made ones.
Right.
But you're talking like wool, alpaca, all of those. If you work with raw fiber, you have to be careful, or else you felt it, right? And that has a lot to do with the characteristic of the hair. How many little, I'm not going to get technical,
microns,
but how many little barbs that each hair has as to how it will hang together. But a person's hair is not unlike animal hair. And so when you are processing fiber, it is often recommended that you follow whatever you're doing with a vinegar rinse. I don't know if you've heard that. Just a few drops of vinegar or a little sploosh of vinegar in your rinse water. And what it does is get the pH of the fiber back to natural. Now, alkaline or acid, that's what pH is. It's like how, now there's a technical thing and I read all about it and it's long gone out of this head, but boy, was it fun reading. But your hair, like many soaps, are alkaline or they're acidic or whatever. And so when your shampoo bottle says it's pH balanced, which they often do, that means that they have adjusted their formula so it is the same pH balance as your hair.
Okay.
Our hair is slightly acidic.
Good to know.
And so when I was trying the soap and I said it felt like my hair felt like straw, that was because I really had opened up every cuticle, every, whatever they're called, those
Yes.
little layers in my hair. I had opened them all up, and the way you close them back down again is with a vinegar rinse. And cold water will also do it. Warm water opens them up, and cold water closes them down. So in like researching all the different choices for shampoos, coconut milk was some choices, a recipe that involved coconut milk. There was a recipe that involved honey. The last recipe, this is the one that's going to be ready for the Oz.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. The last one was washing your hair with water. Have you ever heard of such a thing?
Water? What? What kind of insane talk is that?
I know, but no soap. And what you do is, it's kind of more going back to the way women used to do things.
Yes.
You brush your hair with a boar's bristle brush or a wooden brush.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
And you are trying to get the oils from your scalp to work their way down your hair. And each night, when you know how they used to do 100 strokes?
Yeah.
That was the whole point of the 100 strokes, was to get the oils deposited evenly.
Okay.
And when you use modern shampoos on your hair, they're not organic. They are stripping your scalp of oils through the shampoo. And so your hair gets super dry, and it says, hey, you're dry. We need to make more oil. And so that is why we have gotten to the point now where in modern days, it's not, I don't think it's because we're that much cleaner than civilized folk back in the day. I think we have conditioned our scalps to produce more oil because of how often we're washing. And so there was this whole thing about you're brushing your hair, you're massaging the oil down, and then you try and work yourself back to the point where you're only washing about once a week.
Oh my gosh.
And you wash with just warm water, and she says you scritch your hair. I've never heard of that term.
Scritching.
You're not actually doing
It
it
sounds
with,
official.
yeah, you're not doing it with your nails, you're doing it with your fingertips. You're working the warm water is loosening or liquefying the oils in your scalp and allowing them to pass through, and then you close your hair up with cold water. And this one girl has done it for 3 years, and she showed her hair before and after. It looked beautiful. So I'm not going to challenge you to do that, because I know you're looking at me right now like, she is so nuts.
That's a little bit much for me.
It is a little,
Yeah.
But there's so many fun things. So if you want to look at alternatives for hair washing, go for it. Go look at my new me on Pinterest, and you can see some of the information that I found about it. But it also made me think about wool wash, and surely there is a do-it-yourself wool wash. I think we should look into that.
Okay.
But when I saw the results on my hair of what certain things will do to it, it made me think more about what I'm washing my wools with. Would they be a lot softer if I treated them more at the pH that they are meant to be? And the thing that we learned is, even though you're correcting the pH at the end, whatever you've done to the fiber in washing or treating it does change the fiber. And so you want to try not to stress it too far beyond the pH it wants to be at.
Sure.
So it's people hair, animal hair, it's hair. They all need to be, you need to be more considerate of your hair, Brianne.
Okay. Well, there you go.
And it was a good thing to me because it was so much fun looking into it. So fun.
That's good.
I know.
I'm so glad.
You're glazing over with the please. Do we need to talk about shampoo even more? Next week it's toilet paper.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not making homemade toilet paper.
No.
I wonder if someone has.
No.
It's not eco-friendly.
No. There are some places that I draw the line. And
Okay.
really, toilet paper, that's really where I draw the line.
You know what my sister told me this week? She says, whatever you say I'm never going to do is the thing you're doing next.
Well, shall we talk about our guests that we have?
Let's do it.
Let's bring on, now that we've talked about
Toilet paper and hair.
Yeah, toilet paper and
She's
hair
gonna be
for
so
7
excited.
minutes. She'd be like, I get to follow this. I can do this. I can follow toilet paper and hair.
Yeah.
She's a sure shoe-in for a winner.
She wouldn't have to do much to top it, would she?
She wouldn't. Oh, Abby.
Sorry.
All right. Well, let's watch our video.
Let's do it. Let's welcome her to our home.
Abby, welcome to the Knitworthy residence. We're so glad that you're here today, and we can't wait to meet you. So we'll see you in a minute.
Come on in.
Hi Knitworthy girls, Mama Linda and Brianne. I hope you all are doing really well. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I probably shouldn't introduce myself. My name's Abby, and you can find me on Instagram as cozy_crafting and on Ravelry as Cozy Crafting, and I have a podcast called Cozy Crafting. So I'm cozy crafting all over the place. I am so honored to be on your podcast. I thought it would be fun to stop by and chat with you guys. I make project bags, and I hand dye yarn, and all of that is on Cozy Crafting on Etsy. So yeah, I thought I would talk about why I love handcrafting so much. Handcrafting to me is this thing that I can't really capture in words, but I'm going to try. It's kind of like this time where I can sit and reflect and think and kind of go into myself and try to think about what is going on in my life and enjoy some quiet moments. And then at the end of that time, I have made something, as in like a pair of socks that can keep my husband's feet warm, or a scarf that will keep me warm when I go out into the winter weather. And there's something so special about that type of thing that not many people can say that they're able to do. Yeah, I just love the aspect of being able to create something out of nothing. Taking yarn or string and making it into a hat, and being able to share my love with people by using my hands and my time to make something that is like usable. I love that aspect. I think that I didn't really grow up around people that loved handcrafting. I know you all really love that handcrafting, and it's all in your family, but it was just I just kind of had to find my own way into this community of handcrafters, and I'm so glad I did, because I feel like knitting and making things with my hands, sewing on my sewing machine, quilting and things like that, make me a better person. And I know that sounds really far out there, but it kind of helps me take the things that are hard in life, and because I know everyone has hard things in life, and make something productive and wonderful out of it. And yeah, so I hope this is enough, and I don't really know what else to say, but thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I hope you all have a really fantastic day, and come and stop by Cozy Crafting, the podcast on YouTube. Bye, guys.
Oh, Abby.
Mm-hmm.
Abby, you are both cozy and crafty.
Oh my goodness. I felt so at peace watching her presentation,
Yes.
which we loved.
Yes.
And we also had to, before we came back, we had to check out her store. Oh my goodness, she has beautiful things.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, I want you all to go to Cozy Crafting on Etsy so you can see, for instance, this. She does hand-dyed yarn and fiber.
Beautiful.
Love.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Look at the bag with the birds, Brianne.
Oh, you
You see it?
yes. You know me, I'm a sucker for birds.
I know, birds on a line. And then she has a, one of my favorite episodes of Doctor Who was the one where he was meeting Van Gogh. Let's see if I can figure out how to get this. There we go. Do you see the blue? The blue one with the yellow sun, that's a Van Gogh inspired bag.
Beautiful.
I love that. And then she has some wine things. Look at the yellow and black daisy theme.
I like that one too.
Yeah, I do too. I like it a lot. Okay, I'm really not doing her justice here. You must go yourself and check out.
You must.
I mean, really fun things. And then, I don't know why I didn't think of it before, because we actually watch these live together. We haven't previewed anything.
No.
And so I'm thinking, well, I want to see a little bit of her podcast. So we went and visited her podcast, and it was like,
relaxing.
oh my goodness, it's all done just like what her guest video was like, where it's in her garden
Outside and
I'm a little worried
the
though, if it
birds.
rains, do you think she sits out there like huddled under an umbrella like this?
probably not, because
not.
Abby seems like a very sensical person.
She's very sensible. I think so. Did you say sensical?
I did.
Is that like susical?
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah.
But the episode that I had to check out was the one that talked about crocheting.
I think Sensical is the name of our podcast.
Sensical. Making up words like we always are.
That's just what I like to do.
But I'm always up for a new craft, and I'm telling you, look, this is not the best shot of her, but look at this adorable bracelet that she crocheted. Isn't that fun?
I like it. And I agree with you. I love that Kelly green color.
I think it is so gorgeous.
That was to Abby, not to you.
to Abby.
necessarily.
And
Yeah.
do you see that there's, I believe, glass beads. This is really, once again, a exercise in coordination that I don't have. It almost looks like she's got the band across her eyes. I'm not trying to say that this is like a...
She's not
She's
not
not
trying to be
hiding.
Zorro or anything.
There you can see, that's better because you can see her face where she's actually showing how the bracelet is. So I am totally, after this podcast, guess what I'm doing?
Gonna watch her podcast and learn how to do it.
I am
Yeah.
totally going to do the whole thing, and you will find it pinned on Pinterest. Anyway, I really enjoyed it. And what did you think about her comments about how she feels about crafting?
I love it.
Let me get it straight here.
I feel like being a crafty person also makes me a better person. Not like a better than other people kind of person,
Right.
like she said. But it makes me a better person because I am much more patient when I'm crafting, when I have something to do.
Do you feel more centered?
I do, very much. You know, I we've been in a lot of very stressful situations in our lives where, we've really needed crafting.
Using it almost like medicine.
Basically. In lieu of pharmaceuticals, sometimes we use, wool. But yes, for sure.
I think there is just a part of, and this is maybe not for everyone, I'm not going to speak for the whole entire world, though I often do. But I really believe that for some people, that God has given them a love for art. Okay, some people have a love for animals, some people have all of those things. I think I might be all of them, but a love for art and artistic expression. And whether you call it crafting or whether you call it art or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just that part of you that just has a strong desire to make things with your hands. For some people, it's cooking or gardening.
Sure.
I mean, just think of all of the ways that you can express that artistic part of you. And it doesn't matter how it's coming out in the form of crocheting, which some people mock stuff sometimes, but I think it's silly that if you have a love for bird watching or for hiking out in nature or for crocheting or knitting or pottery or whatever it is, if it is feeding your soul, and nothing takes the place of God, of course. But I think he just made a part of us to want to express beauty.
Right.
Okay?
And don't you think that all of those things have their place within, like, as a way of worshiping him.
I do. Oh.
You know, I mean, you think about, like, I don't want to speak for her, but the fat squirrel had her gratitude cow that she was doing, and thinking about, you know, being grateful for things. And, you know, when you're out in nature, you know, we can be thankful for the beauty that we see around us.
Yes.
And, you know, are able to say, wow, man, thanks for this. This is amazing.
Now, I have to say that, you know, we may find expression in artistic things, but I think there is that desire to express beauty also in sports for someone who is, like, say, a golfer, trying to find that perfect swing that makes the ball go exactly where it needs to go.
Right.
Or in football, the challenge of challenging your body to go through all of that in order to accomplish a goal. I mean, that's not the way my mind is wired.
No.
But for people who are into running.
Right.
Okay. I mean, if you're into Ironman or whatever, of seeing this body that God gave you, what am I able to do with this?
Right.
You know, I think that is neat. And when we connect with that, I do have no study to prove this, but I believe all sorts of good hormones and things happen in your brain that make you healthier. And it certainly helps you enjoy life more.
Yes.
So I think that there are people that maybe see those things as being frivolous, but I think that they have an honest place in life. I think she was really great to bring up the powerful place that, and I wish I could find a word for artistic expression. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, and
in some way, whatever your art is, whether it's athletics or building something or gardening, whatever.
Sure. I mean, we all think that our thing is important, you know, and that the other person's thing will, you know,
silly.
That's
hitting a ball with a stick.
Right. That's a little frivolous, you know, but I think, you know, we all feel that our thing is important.
Yes.
And I think that, you know, maybe, you know, one thing that we can take out of, you know, this conversation is, you know, don't demean other people's
art,
other people's joy, whatever brings them joy, whatever brings them comfort, whatever brings, I mean, don't do drugs, but, you know, I mean, that's not, it's
not building something, you know, those are things that tear down your life. So if it is enhancing your life, not in a chemical way,
yes,
then,
but, you know, I mean, if it's something that brings you joy and is wonderful to you, then do it.
Yeah, if it's not harmful to you or others, then...
Or to the kittens.
Don't harm kittens.
No.
Don't ever do that.
No. That reminds me, I saw, you remember when we took your mom in for her CT scan, and then we went to the French place afterwards?
Yes.
My phone is being used.
Well, I can put a picture in.
Yeah. There was this sign that they had in the bathrooms.
Oh, what did it say?
And it said, you know, please do not flush. And, you know, it had, you know, personal hygiene products and, you know, paper towels and maps and sweaters and kittens and hopes and dreams. And
really?
Yes, it did. It was the funniest thing. And I took a picture of it because I was like, I'm going to need this someday. I'm going to need this. I didn't know it was going to be today, though. Why don't we talk about the things that we've been working on?
All right.
Do you want me to go first?
I think you should go first.
Okay. Yay!
I see bags.
Oh, I do have bags. The first thing that I've been working on is I've been working on Brian's Ravenclaw socks. And I'm actually mid-row right now, which is fantastic. I took these with me to go to the park and get the oil change and everything today. So I had to stop when they called my name, and the park was full with other kids, so I had to keep an eye on Evan really good. So I didn't actually have a chance to even pull out my knitting. But here it is. This is where I was the last time that you saw it. And
lots of progress.
Yeah, so I had about an inch to put in, and then I did the Fish Lips Kiss heel. And then I've put another 1.5 inches or so on it. Since then,
I love it when the toes and heels are.
I know, it makes me happy. And here is Brian's foot. in case you're wondering what that looks like, on the adorable file thing that Mom had available. And I am using the Loopy U Solid Series in Dove and Cobalt, which these are 2 ounces, 220 yards of a superwash merino wool.
Love it.
Yeah. So this is still the first sock, so I still have quite a bit to go. But luckily, Brian doesn't really care for really tall socks. And so I maybe will only knit about another 1.5 to 2 inches before I start on the
Really?
the ribbing.
Wow. Okay.
So yay for that. Thanks, Brian.
Like Lee doesn't like lederhosen.
Exactly.
Whatever those long socks are called.
Yes, he doesn't really care for kilt hose or anything. Another thing that I have been working on is, I don't know if you remember last time where I had to end up ditching my sock head hat, the 4th one that I was knitting, because of it broke
Right.
5 times
Right.
in my first like 2 inches. And I said, that's it. I'm done. That's it. We're out. And so I started a new sockhead hat. This is called sockhead hat number 4 for reals.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not even kidding around with this one.
She's serious, people.
That's right. So here we go. This is the sockhead hat number 4 for reals.
That's a really nice color.
Thank you. You gave me this yarn.
What?
Mm-hmm. This is Earthly Hues LLC. There's their tag.
I love it when you have to put your, like, LLC, incorporated, whatever.
That's right. Trademark. There is a trademark on the picture.
It's like a really cute name. Earthly Hues LLC.
That's right. Well, I'm just trying to take care of them. They're out of Granville, Ohio, and this is Divine Color inspired by nature. It's an 80-10-10 blend, 80% superwash merino wool, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon, and the colorway Peony. And these are actually dyed from natural dyes.
Oh, really?
So it's dyed from a
How did I
peony.
not know that?
I don't know.
Are you sure I gave it to you?
Yeah, I'm very sure because it came out of your stash.
Oh, well, good.
You said, I'm probably not going to use this. Would you like it? And I said, yeah. So, and I love the color
Yeah, it's really
and
pretty.
how the wool took up the color. I think it's just beautiful.
It's a neutral, but it's got a little blush to it, I think.
It does. It's like a grown-up pink. It's not like a hot Barbie pink.
Because we'd never wear hot colors.
No. We are way too grown up for that.
Mature.
No, we're not. What else am I working on?
Sock and a hat.
Yes, and I cast on something new this week. Well, it's really not new.
Okay.
This is a kit that you bought me in 2011 for my birthday.
You're aging it like a fine wine.
It is. It has been marinating quite nicely in my stash and in my collection
Okay.
of patterns. This is from Annie and Company, the Knitting with Jane collection, and this is a shawlette for Elizabeth Bennet.
Aw, we love Pride and Prejudice, don't we?
Really, really do. And so it came in a kit, a beautiful kit with this bag, which I shall show to you.
I love that bag.
I know, I do too.
Who is it by?
It does not say. Hold on, wait, let me just make sure before I no, it doesn't say anywhere.
If you made this bag, let us know.
Yeah, please do, because it's so gorgeous. And it came with stitch markers, which I will show one of them.
Cute.
Beautiful, sparkly little stitch markers. And the interesting thing about this shawl is that you knit the edging first. So you knit
So you're knitting sideways?
along here. You're knitting actually up and down like a scarf, like a long scarf, and then you pick up along the edge and then you do short rows. So the first time I looked at the pattern, I was like, hold on, why does it start with the edging first? And then why is it talking about the body next? I'm so confused.
It
What's
is a
going
beautiful
on?
pattern.
Yes, I was very confused though.
Show them this page.
It doesn't take much.
There's a lovely lady there that's posing, getting ready to put on her scarf. Isn't that a pretty dress?
It is.
Do you know how horrible that would look on me?
I would look pregnant. And I am not. So let me show you how much I've gotten so far on this. Now, for this project, I am using
We're having a hard time staying
Chowgoos.
in camera, so you're just going to have to lift everything up above your head.
Yes. I'm using the Chowgoos that have a bend in them.
And your thoughts?
I would rather probably work in the round on it, but I'm making do.
It is such a lovely pattern.
Yes.
So
I love this
wait,
part
what
right
part
here.
is attaching to the scarf, to the wrap? I mean.
Eventually, I'm going to pick up these stitches right here.
Okay.
And then these will end up, I don't know if you can see, but they scallop.
That's probably a more manageable way to do lace, because it's for me, because I can only handle about this much at a time.
Well, it's a true lace. There is patterning on both sides. And so
I didn't know that makes a difference.
Well,
It's not true lace unless it's patterning on both sides.
it doesn't have a rest row. And so
That I don't think I'd like that. Do you like it?
it just takes more concentration.
So how many rows do you like to do before you say I'll take something else now?
It's a 12 for a repeat, and I'm doing about one repeat a night,
Okay.
which is takes about 30 minutes.
Yeah, that would be challenging enough.
Yeah. And because it's 12 rows, I've found a little bit of a rhythm to it, and that I can predict some things, but I can't predict all things. I can't predict all things, people.
You know, we really weren't expecting it.
My children do, so I don't know. But anyways, so I'm not able to, yet really read the knitting enough to be able to say, oh, that this is what's going to come next. So I do have to refer back and forth to the chart, which makes it a little bit more tedious. However, I have to do 40 of those scallop things, which are 2 repeats, or I don't know. Anyways, I have a little bit of time before it's going to be big enough to where I need to worry about, not having had memorized the chart. Probably by the time I get done, I will have memorized it, and I'll be like, oh man.
Yeah.
So anyways, so
That's lovely.
yeah, so that's what I've been knitting on are those things.
And did you finish anything? You have a finished object to share this
I
today?
do. Are you knitting on anything?
Well, I am knitting on something, but here's what I'm going to say.
Tell me what you're gonna say.
Because it has not officially been released, I'm going to tell you more about this later. I'm just going to show you a little sneak peek. I'm working on this lovely color, which
it
is...
matches me.
I know. It is... it's... What would you call this? Like a burgundy red?
It's like a pomegranate color.
I just love it. I think it'll look nice on me.
Yes.
But we're going to talk about it more at the end of the podcast, but I did want to share about the yarn. I love this yarn.
Is that the name of it, or are you just making your
No.
declaration?
I just want to make sure it's focused. It's a boucle. Now, some of you may have thoughts about boucle, but this particular one I love. My sister-in-law, Ruth Ann, got it for me, and I think it was part of a podcast we did last house, and it was maybe around the time of my birthday. This is a Plymouth yarn. We actually have a shop locally, Cecilia Samplers, who has a needlework shop, but she has a larger yarn section now, so at least it's as close as we're going to get to a local yarn shop here. Nazca Wind by Plymouth Yarns, and this is 70% baby alpaca, 18% mulberry silk, 5% nylon.
Fabulous.
I don't know. And the color, I love the name. Can you pronounce that?
Well, hold on. I think it's color number 6.
Yes.
Yeah.
Color 6.
I wanted to make sure I got that right for you. Sometimes my pronunciations can be a little off.
Yeah.
Or I make up words.
Plymouth Yarns is a well-known brand, but I think what I'm loving about it, sometimes with the boucle, you end up, like if anyone's tried homespun, some of those, they're nice, and they really make us, when they knit up, they're very squishy and cushiony. The boucle just creates a softness factor. It creates an area in it, depending on what needles you're doing it on too. But also sometimes it can be a little frustrating if you've got to tink back a little bit. It can get tingly. But this particular one is not like that. It is really a more tightly, it's not tight in any way, but it's more tightly done boucle. And a boucle, if you don't know, it's usually a 3-ply. There is a larger ply in the center that's the floofy part, and then 2 really skinny two skinny plies that make the yarn do like rickrack kind of. And that's what, so really, even though it's a thinner yarn, you use it calls for size 9 needles. I'm using size 10.
Okay.
And I could have gone up a size, but I really did not want to have it, I really wanted it to be I wanted it to be nice and warm. And so you can see the fabric that it makes is just very cushiony. This is a garter, and so obviously you get the lines in it. I don't know what it would look like in stockinette, but I think it'd be beautiful. But if you've wanted to try an example of a really nice boucle, and this was not, I don't know, you don't ask somebody what they spent on your gift, but I think she really spoiled me.
I'm like, now I need to know how much you love me. So how much was this gift exactly?
And it's been sitting there. I've been wanting to make something out of it, and I finally decided what I wanted to do with it, and I'm so excited. I think it's just going to be an accessory that I enjoy using quite a lot. I have 3 skeins of this, so I think it'll make a really nice size shawl.
I think you're right.
But I love it. Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about things that we finished. And since you're winding yarn, I will talk about what I have finished.
Yeah, I can't do more on my secret project until I have more yarn, so you all get to see me wind yarn.
Yay! Okay, what came off my needles are mom socks.
I love that.
And you can see here is, I know, right? It like matches my shirt, it matches your yarn, lots of matching today. When you saw these last time, I had just started the second sock, so I was right about here since they were cuffed down. I finished that whole stinking sock.
You're rocking on that.
I know. I got into the groove, man.
Man, we're really retro today.
We really are. Yeah. So anyways, I finished some socks, and these are going to be a Christmas present for Mom. And she does know about them, although she forgets. So
should be all new to me.
Exactly.
I get to enjoy them all over again at Christmas.
These I'll get to put into the gift box, and I love putting things into the gift box.
I have no socks that color too, so it's even more fun when you're like able to have just the right color sock to go with an outfit, don't you think?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, yay. Would you like for me to take over winding while you talk about what it is that you've been knitting?
And I do have a skein winder, or
yes, you do.
You know what I'm saying, a ball winder. But I really wanted to do it while we were podcasting because I couldn't go any further without it. So sorry if it annoys you. Well, I have finished a number of things. One of them is on my wrist. I had been wanting to. I love stretch bracelets. I love when you get to layer them up your arm. And this is a jade bracelet that I got a long time ago on a family trip, and so I wear it all the time. But I wanted to have other things to go with it. So this is a pink quartz stone. I love the feeling of stone or gemstones. You know, they're not precious, but I just love them. And so I made this bracelet where I was incorporating copper. I wrapped copper around some of the beads. See if I can get it showing there. And I also put some little twirly beaded circles going in between some of them just to have a little motion. And so that was one fun thing I did. I was experimenting to see, of course, always thinking ahead to someday doing an Etsy shop. Do I like this enough to want to make something? I made one thing for my Etsy shop, though I'm not ready to post it on there, but I'm going to go ahead and show it anyway. This is done with a silver plated wire. It's called an artistic wire, and it's a copper base that has silver plating on it. I did post it on Instagram. And this is really not a great way to show it, but I love it. It has these wonderful links. See if I can get closer, that I learned how to make online. I love them. And it has these, this is some crystal that I found repurposed from another project that I'd had. Look at the little ball of yarn here. I love that. And then these are some just really beautiful silver artisan beads that I got at our local bead shop. Has some turquoise, which I love. I love turquoise. I think, you know, it would look beautiful on me, but everything can't go on me. This is really what I'm trying to tell myself. It has some danglies on it, which I love. So I have to find a way to actually display a project like this on Etsy so that it would show well. I love how on this ball bead down here that's turquoise, how it has that swoop. Here we go. How it has the swoop that goes around it. I think that's so lovely. But it's a beautiful bracelet. It's nice and large because I like my bracelets not to fit tight. Aside from these, I have fitting tight. But that was one of the things I worked on. I just love working with doing the metal wire work. Super fun.
You also did your earrings?
Oh yeah, I did my earrings to match my bracelet. Let's see if I can get my ear in here. See it? So these are the same beads that are in my bracelet, and then I have another element down here, but these are done in the copper wire instead of the silver plate. So I love it. I made the little ear wire and everything. So
You're amazing.
well, yeah, that's one of the things that brings me joy. So that was really fun. So I did some jewelry work. I've done lots of other things. I also did some spinning. Do you have spinning to share today?
I do.
So we'll talk about that next. But I have two other things. But we'll talk about them in our Gilding the Lily. How about that?
Which things?
I have two more things to share, but in Gilding the Lily.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. I'll give this back to you. I'm not good at winding yarn like this, apparently.
Well, it's not the best way to do it.
It's not my gift.
It's better if you have a child doing this.
That's true.
I'm not getting anything in screen today. Let's try that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Because that was important
Or a
that they see my
husband.
hat. Yeah. Do you have a husband that will do that? Because
I
mine
do.
is like, why?
Yeah. We spent one time like 45 minutes before a movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with him.
He was that patient with
He
you.
was. He loves me a lot.
I guess so.
That's true. I finished up spinning my fiber nymph dye works.
You did?
Yes,
oh,
I
good.
did.
I can't wait to see.
Yes. So, let me get out. I finished spinning. I have not plied it. Hello, back in screen now. I haven't plied it, but here it is. And I think that looks pretty true to color. It is so
It is gorgeous. It's a very
beautiful.
even spin. You're really in the
Thank
zone,
you.
aren't you?
Oh, yeah. I'm really feeling it with my spinning,
That's
which
gonna
makes
be
me so happy.
gorgeous.
The only thing is, I just wish I could get a little bit more yardage to my spinning, which I don't, that'll come with time. I have to just be patient with myself, but that'll come. So, let me show you the card for Fiber Nymph because you will want to spin some of her yarn or some of her fiber because it is amazing.
What was the particular fiber that you were using there?
This is a BFL, a Blue Face Luster top, 100% in the Dragonfly colorway. No. Yes. There. Lisa, you are very talented with your dyeing and with your prep. And that was the most pleasurable experience that I've had with spinning since I have started.
Wonderful.
I mean, it was such a joy to spin on that, and it was just a pleasure. And so I can't wait to start getting that applied together so I can see how much yardage I have, so I can see what I can do with it.
Great.
But I'm really just in love with that. That was so much fun. And you've done spinning, yes?
I have. I've spun a number of things.
Oh, no. Okay. So I knocked over the camera. Hi. You get to see my shirt again.
Oh my goodness.
That hasn't happened before.
You know what we're at it? Let's push the camera back a little bit. Can you hang on to it so it doesn't fall?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that is the part of the issue. How funny. What in the world?
I tell you, we're so professional, it's ridiculous.
Oh.
That can be part of you, or are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Should we change subjects right now?
Really?
Oh my goodness. All right.
I did some core spinning and had a less than successful attempt at it in the sense that the core was a little bit over twisted. The core ply part of it, the core spun part of it. So I decided to ply it, and I did I believe this is called it's called an official name that Peggy would know from 100th Sheep, but I ended up doing 2 plies to get it back in balance. I love it. Is it a crepe? I don't know. But anyway, it ends up being 3 plies by the time it was done. And when you do like a long changing colorway like this. Now this is all a mess because I need to reskein it. But when you do a long changing colorway and then do black as your plies, it ends up with, we decided to call it like stained glass. I just think it has such a lovely look. This is one I would love to knit up just to see how it ends up turning out. I just think it's lovely. But typically you would not use a core spun as your starting point for this. You would just spin a thicker singles, and then use your 2 thinner singles to wrap. You wrap your thick singles, because I guess that's the name for it,
Right.
and the black, and you let those ply together. Okay, and then you ply the other direction with your set of 2 that are now 1. With another ply. So that's how the 3 plies go together. They're not 3 held at the same time and all plying together. It's 2 plies go together, then the last ply is added. And what happens is, I think you can see it here, you get the black going on either side of the little bumps. And it creates that rickrack look. I think it's lovely. And it's beautiful. I love it. I love this yarn. It's going to Peggy as soon as I get it reskeined. It has to be reskeined because I messed up on it and didn't catch one of the loops, so it's got one wavy loop. I love it though.
So fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have an Are You Kidding Me?
Many, but
None that you want to talk about? I have one. I wanted to start a new sock project because I felt like it. And so I pulled out this yarn, which is Great Lakes hand dyed from Cleveland, Ohio.
So
this
beautiful.
is her Ixion sock, which is an 80% superwashable, 20% nylon, in her Pensieve colorway, which is a Harry Potter reference. And no, yes,
Beautiful.
yes, there we go. And I love the way she wound it by hand.
So what happened?
Well, I grabbed the wrong needle.
Oh.
So I've been knitting all my socks on zeros, and I
Okay.
accidentally grabbed a 1. So it was really loose,
Oh no.
especially since I'm knitting on 72 stitches.
Mm.
And
So it's a sock for Brian.
It would have been a sock for Brian, but I love this too much. And then I was actually farther than this, but I wanted to show something. I probably needed another 2 inches before I realized I wanted to do the vanilla bean sock pattern.
Oh,
Have you seen that?
I've seen it.
Okay, so that's where with a self-striping yarn, you would, on the color change row, you would knit one and then slip one. So you kind of have a fun, I don't know, like a turreted look, like on the top
It's
of
a little
castle.
jog in your stripe.
Yeah, exactly. So I wanted to do that, but I didn't. I was so excited that I was knitting the sock finally, and it was so beautiful that I didn't do it. So I was like, well, okay, so that's like strike 2. So I decided that I really wanted to knit the sock the way I wanted it to, so I went out and pulled out the needles and started ripping. The only thing that I wish I had known when I purchased the yarn is that the stripes are not the same number. Like there are not as many. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 rows of blue, and then 3 rows of white, and then like 4 rows of gray. So it's not the same, which would not bother Mom one bit because it's gorgeous yarn, and I totally agree. However, it would have been nice to have known that, because
What would you have done?
I might not have purchased the yarn.
What?
But I didn't know, because I know that things like that bother me.
You know what you should do?
What should I do?
Knit them for me.
But I love them. I love the colors. They're Brienne colors.
Oh, you can get over that.
I know I can. And I just, you know what I need to do is, it was a lot of disappointing things all in one day.
You need to
I
let it
knitted-
rest, don't you?
I do. So I'm going to pull it out all the way and then just let it sit for a little while in the bag and let it have a little time out and let myself have a little time out away from it. We're going to kind of like, you know how it is, like when your kids do something and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that. And then you have to put them in timeout, and then you have to take a timeout too. I think we both need to have a little timeout, and then we can come back together and make some beautiful socks. With the right size needles and the right pattern. And then with me knowing that the stripes are not always going to be the right size. So there we go. This is one of the ways that Mom and I are very different crafters.
Yeah.
But like, for example, like I love that Jinx Yarn puts on her labels exactly how many stripes are in each. Like if you're getting this many stitches to the inch using a 64 inch or a 64 stitch sock pattern, then you're going to get, 5 rows of this and 5 rows of this and 5 rows of this, like in what order.
Okay.
And so I like that because I like to be able to predict.
Okay, honey.
Yeah, I know. It's my crazy. What can I say? But I looked because I really like her base. You want to feel the sock?
Ooh, I like that a lot.
It's really nice. And I really like the colors, and I liked what she had in her store before, but this is the only thing that I picked up. But she hasn't updated she's been out of her Etsy store since November. So I don't know that she's actually dying anymore or what.
She just may have some issues going on, like we
Yeah.
all do sometimes.
We totally get that. So, Elizabeth, if you decide that you want to start dyeing again, I would totally buy your stuff. But, now that I'm prepared. So
Yes, I love it. I think
Isn't that beautiful?
You'll feel better about it once it rests a little bit.
I will. We're going to have a little time out, and then we're going to come back, and it's going to all be good again. And we're going to give each other hugs and kisses.
Hugs and kisses. I did decide I'll share my Are You Kidding Me?
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So we were doing a little texting this morning. Of course, I text Brianne, who is just upstairs.
Actually, I was in Walmart.
Were you in Walmart?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And Heather, who's in Virginia. And we
Yeah.
were texting different things, talking about different issues. And so I was sharing with them what vitamins I'm using and stuff. And I had taken a picture to show them my rosy cheeks again are back. And I was out of the vitamin I've been taking that I thought's helping me with it. And I took the picture And all of a sudden I realized, you know how they say everyone has their doppelganger?
Yeah.
I found my doppelganger. Do you see? I am Dick Van Dyke.
Oh, you're
What?
so bad.
I wish it would come in better. I may have to actually just pop that picture in.
Oh,
Yes!
Here, we'll
Look
put
at
that
the
picture
chin.
in. We'll put that picture in right here.
Right? I'm like, I saw that picture of myself, me showing them my red cheeks, and all of a sudden I thought, I look just like Dick Van Dyke.
Oh gosh.
Oh my word. I used to be always worried about my nose when I was younger. Now I'm going to add the chin to it.
Oh no.
But I thought, if you've got to look like someone, Dick Van Dyke is fabulous.
How awesome is he?
Yes.
Yeah.
The only other person that I thought would be really nice to look like,
Who?
Andy Griffith.
Yeah.
Isn't he cute?
Mhm.
I don't know if is he still alive?
I don't think so.
He still is cute.
Okay.
So that's the Are You Kidding Me? I found my
Yes.
doppelganger isn't a cute little, Meg
not-
Ryan or
it's
something.
not Angela
It's-
Lansbury or in
No,
her
Angela Lansbury
in her
would be good
Jessica
too.
Fletcher days.
I
or-
know, it could have
Yeah.
been that. It could have been something really cool, but I'm Dick Van Dyke.
She sent me that picture in the middle of Walmart, and I busted out laughing right in the middle of the, Auto Lube Express area. I was like, oh my.
Yeah, there's nothing sexier to a man than Dick Van Dyke, is all I can say.
Oh, goodness. Well, Mom,
Yes,
did you gilda lily?
I did.
You did.
I had a wonderful gift sent to me.
Okay.
Do you know Pin, Hook, and Needles podcast?
Yes.
Yes, I watch them on YouTube. And Talia is Franciscan Gypsy
Yes.
on that podcast with her mama, and I'm going to forget mama's name.
You're looking at me
This
and
is a
I've lost
test.
it.
But she was watching the podcast where I had my bunny rug.
Yeah.
And she said, I wanted to gift you with a cute bunny pattern that I've done. Well, she didn't say cute, but it's cute. And it's Oops the Bunny.
Okay.
Isn't that a darling name?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so I decided this would be a good use for some handspun that I've had for a while. That's pink, because who likes pink?
Ailish likes pink.
Ailish likes pink. So I'm going to bring on my Oops the Bunny made with cute Talia's pattern. Oops, I already have a little thing I got to fix here, but that's all right. Here we have Oops done with home hand spun. Oops the bunny needed glasses. She's a little problem with her eyesight. She also has a problem because I wasn't very good at the color work for the eyes. I haven't done color work with crochet before. And I decided that she needed to wear some embroidered accents on her body because she's just a fancy gal.
She is fancy.
And she's got a cute little, this is actually Angora from one of my bunnies I used to have that the tail is made out of. And she's got an adorable bottom, come on.
It is rather cute.
And I put the year I made her on the bottom so Ailish would have that. So she would
That's
have
so
the
smart.
ear and cute little long ears. So Oops the Bunny is Talia's pattern. So cute. And just so you know what kind of a pattern it is, this pattern is done in pieces. Okay, so you make a piece for the ear and a piece for the muzzle and the head and the arms and the legs, and then the body is done in 2 pieces also, and then they are all stuffed and stitched together. Now I would recommend that if you love Oops the Bunny and want to make one, and she sits awfully nice, can you see that? I can't really set her on anything or else she'd be out of sight, but she has a nice wide base for sitting, so if you wanted a little shelf sitter, she'd be a good one. I used a really small crochet hook. I used a D size hook for this because I wanted a small bunny. If you make her according to the pattern, she's going to be a bit bigger. I would say you could probably even make her out of sock yarn if you wanted even smaller.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's a thought. I haven't tried, but maybe. And if you want to make her, the only part where I got a little confused was in putting all the pieces together. Now, the nice thing about doing a pieced animal like this is that the little pieces are so easy to get done. I mean, you get a few minutes, you can stop and do an ear or do a muzzle or whatever.
Sure.
And so that in that way, it's not as daunting if you don't have a huge pattern. Oh, all I need to do is one ear.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. But when it comes to putting it together, I would suggest that what you do is before you do anything is watch her videos. Watch how she assembles it. And then after you watched all the videos, go back and put the bunny together. Because once you have that information of really understanding how it goes together, it makes perfect sense once you're done.
Sure.
But for me, because I had not done a bunny like this before, I thought that I would pass that along. And this is obviously done in crochet. Now, you may notice there's a little something extra if you look at the pattern online. Mine has eyelids. The reason being, I had done such a horrible job on the color work, I decided, well, the poor little eyes need something. So I put a black outline around the bunny's eyes. Then it looked like Ninja Bunny maybe or Evil Bunny. I don't know which. So I decided, oh no, I don't want an evil bunny. So I ended up, instead of trying to figure out how to unpick everything I had done, I just gave her eyelids, or perhaps their eyebrows, I don't know which. And then she needed glasses because of all the work I had done on her eyes. Poor thing, couldn't see well. So Evan comes in.
Yes.
And he sees that I have once again made something for Ailish, but he had been asking me to make a doggy for him. And of course, most normal people would pick a pattern and make one. Not me. No, I was out one day and I was just going to start something and I thought, well, I'll have it done in a few days. He's a slave driver.
He really was. It was like he was not going to let you rest or do anything else that day.
He stayed in the room and he'd say, how are you doing now? Are you done yet?
Well, and even like we had been together for the whole day because Mom had some things. And so we came home and you know, shortly after that it was time to go pick up the kids from school. And so I said, okay, Evan, let's go pick up the kids from school. He goes, I'm gonna stay with Dee.
He never says that.
No. And so, you know, but I come home and, you know, Mom's still like this, I'll be done in a little bit, I swear.
I was supposed to make dinner that night too, and he blocked the stairway with his body saying, no, don't make dinner. So I ended up taking some other yarn that I had left over from another project. Can you hold this up so they can see this one? And I made this little, it's supposed to be a dog. I kind of think it resembles a bear, but
the child does not care.
I had safety eyes, so I put safety eyes on it, and I thought, oh, I'm finally done. And then when he saw that I'd put glasses on Ailish's bunny, he says, my dog can't see very well either. So we ended up making a little makeshift doggy for him. I don't know what would make it more look like a dog. I don't know.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, whatever. It's a thing. And he was happy with it, and I told him the heart was on there so that he would never forget how much I love him.
That's right.
So I ended up making 2 animals, not expecting to make 2. But thank you so much, Talia, Franciscan Gypsy, for the pattern. That was very sweet of you.
Yes.
And it's a mother-daughter team that podcast together and do all sorts of interesting crafts. And they made me very thirsty for chai tea.
Well, there you go.
So I'm thinking I've got to start exploring chai tea options.
Good to know.
So that's what I did. How about you?
Well, I ended up, our good friend Stephanie from Hot Pink Socks Reviews, I won a skein of yarn.
You're a winner?
I'm a winner. I won
so pretty.
the Haverland yarn. It's a 75-25 sock, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and a fingering weight yarn, 460 yards in the Cherry Blossom Festival colorway. I'm going to show that to you.
Wow, I love it.
Isn't that pretty?
That's going to be really fun to try knitting up.
Yes. I already have a pattern in mind.
Do you?
I'm going to say it wrong.
Can I see?
Yes, absolutely.
Ooh, it's soft.
Nurmalintu?
Spell it?
I can't even.
Because I do things like this.
Yes, you do. But can I just say, I have to share.
Okay.
So,
Love it.
you
Gorgeous.
know, I have had a skein of yarn that looks very similar to that one in my Etsy shop
You're kidding.
for probably like 6 months.
Wow.
And, you know, there hasn't been a whole lot of buying of yarn
Right.
lately because we have things like medical bills. And,
Yeah.
you know, Ayla, she's so funny. She goes, well, why do we have medical bills? Owen doesn't have cancer anymore.
The bills should go away.
The
when
bills should
cancer
go
does.
away. I like her way of thinking.
Yeah.
But in any case, so there has not been a lot of buying of yarn and
Right.
other things lately because our money goes elsewhere. And so I was praying. I was
Were
like,
you?
Lord, I just really want this yarn because I would love to make this one shawl with it. And then I won this skein of yarn, which is very much almost exactly like the skein of yarn.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm serious.
Oh, I love
and
it.
it was like,
It's a blessing
it
for
was
you.
a blessing.
Hot Pete Socks Reviews is wonderful.
That's right. Stephanie is so sweet. And she just had a baby and she is still going on her reviews
What?
thing. I know.
What did
so,
she have?
She had a little girl.
Oh.
Yes. I think they named her Whitley.
I'll have to see if I can steal a picture to put in the podcast. Wonder if she probably doesn't want her child out there, so I won't do that.
Well, I know on her Instagram they had a little picture of her foot.
Oh,
So that was a foot picture, so that was very sweet. Yes.
Well, and also thank you to
Haverland.
Haverland
Yes.
for the wonderful prop contest prize.
I know. It was so fun. So it was like, this was like my little blessing from heaven, from Stephanie and from Haverland
I love
and
it.
from the Lord who said, you need some
Thou
yarn.
shalt have yarn.
That's right. Exactly.
Now, Hot Pink Socks Reviews.
Yes.
And for those who may not know, she is part of our group, but she has her own group.
Yes.
And she reviews things every week. I don't know how she'll do it with a baby.
I have no clue.
But I believe it's Mondays, isn't it, that she releases the new thing that she's reviewing. There's not always a contest, but there often is.
Yes.
And I only remember, unfortunately, I hardly remember my name sometimes, but she sometimes posts in our shop thread.
Yes.
And please make sure you visit that. There are all sorts of great discounts and things that people are offering in there. And so if you're in the market for something, get your coupon, get your sale.
For sure.
Yeah, and she'll sometimes
Yeah.
post in there a reminder to go and check out something. So
Yes.
that's fun.
Yes. So let's talk about June and July,
Let's.
because we have an along that we're doing.
We do.
For June and July.
I am super excited about this one.
Yes, we decided that charity knitting is so awesome that we really wanted it to not just be 1 month, but we wanted it to be 2 months.
Yes, and especially if we're going to be podcasting less often, it'll seem like it'll fly by too fast.
Yeah.
And people are busy.
Of course, it's the summer.
And with charity knitting, you could do a small thing and you would be done in a flash. And so you have the opportunity to make more than one kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Now, can I tell you some of the fun charities I found out about when I was Pinteresting?
Yes.
Okay. And I think we are going to really leave it open to the judgment of all of you of what you want to knit
Right.
for.
Absolutely.
You can knit for a specific charity, or you can knit for, or crochet, or let's say a craft along.
Weave, sew, we don't care.
Yes, whatever it is that you want to do. You can choose the charity of your choice. You can also choose to bless someone with something that you just want to bless them with. So it doesn't have to be a particular charity.
Right.
But we'd like you to post a picture in the thread.
That's right.
Is that how they get an entry into the contest?
Yes. Yes, it is. And so
Okay.
we'll I will put up a thread as soon as I can to explaining what the rules are and everything, and we'll get that put up for you so that you can start posting. And do you want to do one post per person or multiple?
I really think this time to encourage more charitable knitting.
Okay.
Let's just do for every item that you make is another entry.
Okay. What about if someone makes one dish rag and then they make 50 more dish rags?
That's okay.
Okay.
It's really okay.
We will then, we will do 2 prizes.
Good
then
idea.
For this one, since it's going to be...
And if you win one prize, you wouldn't be winning the second prize also.
Right.
So don't think just because someone has 50 entries that they're going to get everything, because that's not how we'll do it.
No.
And I would really like to, you know, see if we can come up with some extra goodies for each prize.
Okay.
So make it a little more than just one item.
Okay.
Make it fun.
Yeah.
Now, I prefaced this contest with making contact with a super good friend of mine who is Tabitha's Heart on Ravelry. I'm trying to think of what name is she going by online. Tabitha's Heart on Ravelry. She has a group. She is a great designer. Mm-hmm. And she has several free patterns that she has posted on her website. So I'm going to be giving you links to those for shawls, because one of the things I think would be really cool to do is a prayer shawl. Mm-hmm. And if you are not, if you are not a praying person, that's okay. You can do a Happy Thoughts shawl.
Sure.
It's basically saying, I thought of you while I was making this.
Right.
And I'm wishing, praying, hoping, dreaming of good things for you.
That's right.
And it wouldn't even have to be an illness or something horrible. It could just be someone's going through a big change in their life. Mm-hmm. And they just need a little encouragement. And so now I don't have enough of this done to really be giving anything away. But this is one of the shawls that is going to be finished soonish. And this one I think is a paid for, but Tabitha is going to have a discount coupon for some things. I don't know if it'll be for this one. This is, if you can feel how this is knitting up, it is going to be super wonderful.
Yes.
I like for my charity projects to be something that is simple, so it can be nourishing to me also while I'm doing it. Mm-hmm. But some of you may want to go all elaborate. The thing to remember is whatever charity you are doing this for, or whoever you're doing it for, consider their ability to care for whatever you're giving them.
Right. So
Okay.
like don't send, 100% cashmere or 100% wool to an animal shelter, for
Right.
little puppy blankets.
Exactly.
Because they're not going to be able to care for that.
Right. So we will, in our thread where we talk about this, this project that we'll be doing now, this charity along, look for coupons in there, look for other things that people might be offering as suggestions for charities you can participate in. There's also a group where she had asked us, Brianne, could you fill for a minute talking about charities while I look up the thing I should have looked up ahead of time?
When I think about charity, I think about... Oh, wait, no. There are a lot of charities out there that, could use help. You think about, different organizations. I know, in the city that we lived in, we had a food pantry that was always in need of... things like accessories, nice warm accessories for people in the wintertime, because, when you would come in order to get food for your family on your appointment day, they would ask, is there anything that you need clothing wise? And so they would always have a need for hats and scarves and mittens and, be creative. Look out there for organizations that are in your area that could use your help.
Yes, and we will be beginning to gather suggestions. I started with Pinterest, gathering a bunch of places where you could go to look for donation ideas. But I'm going to start our charity along with this call out from a fellow Raveler who is also a member of our group. And she is B-Wing. She's known as B-Wing on Ravelry. She's got the sweetest, look at her cute little face with her daughter. Everything is making glare. There, look. Cute, right?
Yes.
And I asked her if she would write up a little bit because she is doing a really great project. And so, here's what she says. Hello, I'm Brittany, or known as B-Wing on Ravelry. The last few years have been a huge learning experience, and I am learning to trust and obey God more each and every day. Recently, during a revival at a local church, He put on my heart that I could be doing more with my talent. Boy, we've been there, haven't we? Are we doing enough to help this world that He put us in? I've been donating preemie hats and regular hats to a local group, but I felt like I could be doing more. I decided to form Comforting Crafts so that I could collect items to keep people warm in our community. Oh my goodness, isn't that a neat idea? And we have, I don't know if you already mentioned it, and I was trying to find this, but we also have a call out every year for school children that need shoes and coats and things like that. So, you know, each community that lives in extreme weather has needs. And it says, I have found 3 groups so far that are willing to accept them, meaning donations, and I know of another that would be willing. The groups include a local church, an annual coat drive, and a prison ministry. If I get a good response, the local crisis center would also love to get some items. So what am I collecting? Hats, mittens, scarves, and dishcloths. Any size, any color. If the yarn is not washable, then please just label it so that the person knows. So you can use basically anything from your stash as long as it's properly labeled. What am I collecting? Oh, should we go over that again? No, I think it's okay. So it's any size, any color, and if it's not washable, then just label it. I'm accepting donations all year long and hope to start distributing them in the fall, which makes total sense. And this is why this is such a great time for us to be doing a charity along.
Yeah.
We think about it when things get colder, we go, oh, those poor people that don't have good heat, you know, to keep them warm through the winter. But this is the time to be crafting for those things, right?
Absolutely.
I'm excited to see what God does with this group, and I pray it grows beyond my local community. That would be neat. Most of all, I just pray it inspires others to give to those in need. Even if you don't donate to this group, just be able to donate to your community, You can find Comforting Crafts on Ravelry and on Facebook. So it doesn't matter. You can connect with them either way. And she's expressing her thanks for letting us share on the podcast. And I'm just thankful that she thought of inviting us to join her in that. So you can contact Brittany, who is B-Wing, join her group, Comforting Crafts, if you want to be a part of what she is doing. And I know there are many other people doing really neat things.
Yes.
Now I'm going to give you some ideas. If you check my Pinterest, A Heart for Giving, that page, it'll give you links. One of the biggest ones I found, if you want to get started, is Lion Brand Yarn. On their website, they have a whole list of different organizations that they know of where you can knit or crochet or craft for them. That's a great place to start. I saw people donating to animal shelters, the little blankets. You mentioned that.
Yeah.
And we know that Wolf Farms has they've taken those little animal blankets up to where Fuji was getting treated.
Yeah.
There's also one where you make little nests for wild animals. And it's basically making like a bowl shape for them to cuddle in when they're just little babies. There is a outreach, obviously, for preemie hats. There are, you can crochet or knit or sew clothing that will be used for, I think it's called angel babies. And this is for people who have lost a child.
Right.
And this is like a really tiny child.
Right.
Like not
preemies.
Like very premature. And they like to give these parents a memento, so they dress them and photograph, and so they have the picture, and then I'm not sure what happens with the clothing item, but that would be up to the parent to decide. But it's a way to honor and respect. You know, if you've been a mom that's been pregnant and you've lost a child, I can't imagine how painful that is, but to know that someone loved them enough to make them this beautiful little outfit to be presented to them in. I just think that's neat. If I can do it without crying the whole time. I have so many charities now that I'm like, there was one, and I'm going to mention this even though it's really an unusual thing, but I was really blessed by somebody who has discovered that there are girls in countries that if they are lucky enough to go to school, their family can afford that. Sometimes they can't afford something very simple as feminine protection, a sanitary napkin of some sort. And so if you sew, there is a place where you can just sew something very simple. If they have the pattern, it's a little sanitary napkin. It's got a little snap to hold it onto your underpants. And what was happening is these girls were dropping out of school, not going to school whenever they had their period, and they would get so far behind that they couldn't finish. And you can imagine that's going to affect your future.
Right.
And your ability to provide for yourself and your family. And so that, I mean, I'd never heard of that, but of course, I mean, the whole next generation coming up, these women are going to have this issue.
Right.
And so it's a way to keep a girl in school. I love that. Another one, she took trash bags, cut them into yarn, and she shows how to do it, and she crochets them, I think it's crocheted, into mats. The mats are given to people who are really out on the streets. It gives them a barrier between the cold ground and them. It's a little bit of comfort. It's lightweight, easy for them to stash with them. And she says it is the thing they cannot keep in stock because so many people, whenever they're there, whenever they have them, they go right out because people really need them. Well, it's like giving someone a good night's sleep when they're just, can you imagine trying to find a place to sleep on a street?
Yeah. Well, obviously there are a lot of different charities that need help, and you know there are a lot of different needs out there, and so we'll definitely encourage you to look at the podcast to
cool
see
things though.
Yeah, I mean whatever it is that you enjoy doing or have a heart for, there's probably some organization out there that can use your talents, and so let's do that.
Let's do that, and let's chat about it on the thread. If you've got one that's near and dear to your heart, post it so other people might want to join you.
We'll have a chatter thread as well as a contest thread. Not that we want to be like really intensely competitive about this or anything, but we want to make sure that we're showing off.
Let's cheer each other on.
Absolutely. And so give us ideas of who you're going to be donating to in the chat thread, and we'll hook you up with some lists of some organizations as well.
Yep.
So I think that's it for today.
Sounds great.
All right. Well, we're so glad that you are with us today. We really appreciate you spending time with us in our home, and it was good.
It was nice.
It was
nice
good.
to chat.
Thank you so much. And just remember, until we see you next time, you are Knitworthy. Bye.
Bye, y'all.